Hello everyone and welcome to another Back to School at 51 video. We haven't made a video in this series for about 5 months. The last one was filmed in our old house and I had much longer hair. Today I'll be asking my dad some questions about his first few months of graduate school at Notre Dame de Nemours University. So for people who are watching this series for the first time, do you want to tell them a little bit about your story and what's going on?
Yeah, so just as a reminder, I guess I'm essentially starting maybe my 4th career. So I went to school as an undergraduate initially to become a math teacher. And then I went back to graduate school and I became a statistician. And then I went to graduate school again and I studied health sciences and became a clinical researcher working in the biotech industry. I worked at Amgen and Genentech for some years. Then I changed careers yet again and I've worked in kind of the digital world. I worked at Yahoo and Microsoft and I did some startups. And now I'm actually at a small mobile technology company that has about 60 people in the Bay Area. So I'm getting at a stage in my life at the age of 51 where I need to think about what do I want to do next in my life some years in the future. And I think the way that I want to spend the rest of my life once I'm done with digital is being a psychotherapist. And so I made the decision a little more than a year ago to pursue that, and that meant finding out how to apply, what prerequisites I need to do, what school I want to do, and I've gone through all that process, and now I'm finally actually taking classes. A lot has happened in the past 5 months. I think we talked in May, so I've taken a summer class, another prerequisite. I took a development class this summer. It was really good. I did well in it, and classes have started at NDNU, so it's the middle of October, so about a month and a half in. As I mentioned before, I think I described before, I'm taking 3 classes this semester. I'm taking psychopathology, I'm taking another development course, and I'm taking a human sexuality class, and so far it's been going really well.
So how's the workload been and how have you been able to balance school with your career?
It's a good question. I think we talked about that a little bit last time we talked in May, that I wasn't very certain. I had taken a couple of classes in the spring. I was able to manage that, took one in the summer during work, and really didn't know if I should sign up for 2 or 3 classes this fall. Basically I'm doing 2.5 classes, and it's actually been quite hard. It's been pretty challenging. Psychology requires a lot of reading, so for those of you who are thinking about going to graduate school in psychology, be prepared. There's quite a lot of reading. You need to read articles, you need to read various books, you may be referred to other books to read. You always have to be looking into the DSM and reading chapters in there as well to supplement what you're learning. So it's been actually pretty tough to balance. Some weeks have been easier than others, but some have been pretty challenging, especially with the weekend classes.
So you're talking earlier about how you're taking 2 weekend classes. How have those been and how have you been able to manage the workload and also going to class on the weekends?
That's right. I mean, back in May when I was talking about those weekend classes, I was actually wrong about something. I thought that those classes were only going to be on Sundays. It turns out they're actually both Saturday and Sunday. And so several times this semester I've had to be at school from early morning until late afternoon in class, both Saturday and Sunday. It hasn't actually been that difficult. The main problem with having the weekend classes is it takes away study time from my other classes because I don't have very much time during the week to study. I have to save up the majority of it for the weekends.
So tell me a little bit about your teachers and classmates this semester.
Well, gosh, where should I start? It's actually a pretty small community, the graduate psych students, so I've been happy to see them again repeatedly in different classes that I have, so I have been getting to know them pretty well. Very diverse group from different parts of the world, different backgrounds, very broad age range, so it's actually been really great. I'm looking forward to spending the next 3 years really with many of these people. The instructors have been very impressive so far. They understand the content very deeply. They all both practice psychotherapy as well as teach, and so it's great that they're able to bring in stories, of course anonymously, from their practice that really makes all the learning very tangible.
So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what classes you're taking next semester?
Well, sign-ups are coming up soon. I think during the first week of November we can go ahead and arrange appointments with advisors and sign up. I started putting together an academic plan. It may seem like overkill to put together a big spreadsheet, but given that I'm trying to complete all of this in 3 years, I have to be very careful as to what classes I take at what times just to make sure I fit it all in. So as I mentioned, registration is going to be the first week of November. The classes that I'm going to try to sign up for are child and adolescent psychopathology, group therapy, and then also neurophysiology and psychopharmacology. I guess I'm really looking forward to group, and particularly child and adolescent, because that's my focus area. A little bit nervous about the neuro class and the pharmaco. Even though I worked in biotech, I'm a little bit fearful of some of the memorization that might be required in that one.
So what's your favorite class been so far?
My favorite class right now is probably psychopathology, definitely. I just really enjoy studying and thinking about diagnoses. The other great thing about that is that our instructor knows a lot about psychodynamic therapy, which involves probing early childhood experiences and traumas and seeing how those impact future diagnoses, and that's not something that I had studied before, so that's been really interesting.
What's the most surprising thing that you've learned?
What's the most surprising thing that I've learned? I guess something suddenly clicked with me when I was doing some study. Some of the books that we're reading are very complicated and hard to understand the first time through. But some of them, upon reading a couple of times, suddenly I began to pretty deeply understand depression and some of the causes for it and the different things that can happen to you as a child that can make you more susceptible to it. So that's been a very interesting and surprising discovery for me, because I had thought that much of depression was due more to current things and not so much due to historical things.
So back in May we talked about the possibility of you starting your own channel. Are you still interested in doing that?
Yes, I am. I think the big challenge though has been time. It's been very difficult to balance out going back to school. I think I want to get into a little bit more of a routine and maybe revisit this next semester and see how the course load is next semester, and see if we can kick it off maybe in a February timeframe.
So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Comment any questions that you have for my dad down below, and also be sure to follow him on social media. He is @KP Mallon, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Goodbye.